On this day in history, April 25th, 404 BC, Admiral Lysander and King Pausanias of Sparta blockade Athens and bring the Peloponnesian War to a successful conclusion. Included in the following is an excerpt from the 1944 edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, going over Athens' downfall and the end of the Peloponnesian War. Sparta at last discovered a great admiral in Lysander. Coming to his naval base at Ephesus in the autumn of 408 BC, he built up a large, well-equipped fleet assisted by the new satrap, Prince Cyrus, second son of the Persian king, who cooperated enthusiastically with the Spartan, placing Persia's illimitable resources and his own private purse at the latter's command. Persian vacillation thus ended. The only flaw in Sparta's naval organization was the rule forbidding the same man to hold the admiral's office in 2 consecutive years. In 407 BC, Lysander resisted steadily all Alcibiades' efforts to entice him out to battle. Then that weakness, shortage of supplies, which hampered all Athenian operations in the Ionian War, compelled Alcibiades to divide his fleet. He himself sailed north to plunder enemy coast towns, leaving in observation at Notium a squadron under one Antiochus, a good seaman and an old friend from boyhood, with strict orders not to offer battle. During his superior's absence at hostile Cyme, Antiochus challenged Lysander insultingly to combat. The latter sallied out of harbor and routed him. Alcibiades returned and renewed the blockade of the foe, but the mischief was done. His personal enemies at Athens persuaded the people to dismiss him from his command. He withdrew quietly to a castle on the Hellespont, and a new board of generals next year replaced him. Lysander, too, was superseded by Callicratidas, a brave and energetic officer. The latter, overcoming all hindrances placed in his way by Lysander and Cyrus, blockaded the Athenian Conon in Mytilene harbor. A large Athenian fleet, raised with desperate energy, sailed from Piraeus to this general's succor. At the resulting Battle of Arginusae in August 406 BC, the fleets engaged were the largest hitherto seen on both sides in the war, but the tactics were nearly as clumsy as in the days before Phormio. Callicratidas was defeated heavily, and he himself was downed. Again Sparta offered peace. Again Celephon, in drunken madness, secured its rejection. The very victory was marred by a failure, due in part only to heavy weather, to rescue many hundred drowning Athenian soldiers from sinking or waterlogged ships. The generals were recalled to Athens. 6 who obeyed were put on trial, and illegally condemned en bloc were executed. Theramenes, whom they had tried to make their scapegoat, being largely responsible for their doom. By their removal, he may have hoped to achieve Alcibiades' recall even at the 11th hour. In this he failed. The new generals of 405 BC were, with one exception, Alcibiades' political opponents. These, proceeding to Ionia, moved the entire fleet up to the open roadstead of Aegospotamia in the Hellespont. Lysander lay opposite in security at Abydos. In vain, Alcibiades rode down to warn his compatriots of their perilous position. Insults rewarded this, the last of many efforts to save his city. By a clever ruse de guerre, Lysander in September 405 BC captured the whole of the opposing fleet without a blow, and in one single hour brought the longest of wars to an end. Only Conon and some 20 Athenian ships escaped. So Athens lost her fleet, and with it the war, thanks to incompetence and political partisanship combined. With slow deliberation, Lysander sailed upon the city and blockaded Piraeus. King Pausanias lay with his army outside the walls. After 6 terrible months of slow starvation, Theramenes secured terms from Sparta tolerable compared with the utter destruction of the city demanded by Corinth and Thebes. On April 25th, 404 BC, Athens capitulated, and the Spartans marched in. Her long walls were pulled down to the merry sound of flutes. Her empire was dissolved. Samos, alone defiant, was taken. The oligarchy of the 13 tyrants was established at Athens, and Syrtis, its chief, presently secured the judicial murder of Theramenes in the city and the assassination of Alcibiades at Phrygian Melissa. Liberty returned to Hellas. The Peloponnesian War was ended. With the war, the greatest, if not the happiest days of Athens' history are ended. Her political preeminence passes away. Interest centers rather on Thebes and Macedon in the 4th, and on Achaia and Sparta in the 3rd century. Hence, it is that the Peloponnesian War enjoys such importance in world history. Apart from this, it is the genius of Thucydides which has raised to the rank of a world epic, almost of a world tragedy, a struggle which has seemed to some little better than a petty quarrel of ancient days.